My name is Rhys Arkins. I'm VP Product at Mend. I particularly focus on developer solutions, integrations, and supply chain security. And as part of that, Renovate falls into that portfolio. Renovate at its core is a mostly developer tool. Developers generally introduce it into companies, into projects. Now, what we've found is that we're now reaching the point where companies are addressing how they can use Renovate at scale, as we say. So there are companies with not only thousands of developers, but even potentially tens or hundreds of thousands of repositories. So what we are aiming to do with Renovate Enterprise is to kind of meet that demand where we want to reduce the amount of time it takes people to manage Renovate within an enterprise. And we want to also make them more efficient. Not only the people managing and running Renovate, but also the developers as well, and introducing some efficiencies for day-to-day activities. What we're trying to do is introduce efficiencies at both ends. You could say we're really tailoring to the power users as well. So if we start with the people who operate Renovate, although Renovate might be introduced initially by a small team of developers at a company, once it gets to a certain scale, what we'll see is that there'll be like a dedicated team for such tools, like a DevOps team, a developer solutions team, developer productivity team. Now they are going to operate Renovate, and they'll start reaching some scalability pains. So for example, once they go beyond the scalability of one server, they'll then need to work out how to load balance Renovate across multiple servers. There can then be challenges such as if two servers try to run on one repository at the same time, they can have errors. So we've looked to eliminate that in Renovate Enterprise by introducing a classic client-server model where the server maintains a unified job queue, and you can scale the clients, or the job workers as we call them, somewhat infinitely, as much as needed. So the clients take jobs, the server makes sure that no two clients ever operate on the same repository at the same time, so we don't get any misplaced errors. And that way, Renovate Enterprise users can not only scale Renovate, but even potentially auto-scale Renovate based upon queue length, job duration, and things like that. So that's partly the efficiencies at the operational end. In addition to that, we've provided some efficiencies also for the developers themselves, or at least the people who are involved in the repositories. On the repository side in particular, there's a feature we call Smart Merge Controls. Yeah, so Smart Merge Control is based off a feature in Mend that we've had out for a few years now called Merge Confidence. The idea behind Merge Confidence is addressing the primary reason why developers might hesitate to update dependencies, and that is the fear of the unknown, the fear of the breaking. So although the majority of updates are totally fine to take, and in fact they're recommended, there are times when an open source library accidentally breaks something that used to work and no longer does. And that's what might keep developers up at night if they're doing upgrades. So what Merge Confidence does is takes crowdsourced data from the apps that we host at Mend and provide a Merge Confidence score. And typically this score might be high or very high. And occasionally it's neutral if we're not sure, or it's low if we see that a particular release has a higher than usual number of failing tests between our users. So Smart Merge Controls allow developers then to take that score and automate based upon it. So the two most common ways developers use that score to automate and then save themselves time is, first of all, to schedule and group together high confidence updates. So instead of getting maybe 10 separate high confidence updates in a week, they could say, give me high confidence updates once a week grouped together. That then saves them, instead of 10, they have one pull request, and it's pretty safe to merge because they're all high confidence updates. The second approach to save time is to prune out those ones which are low confidence. So you can set a rule which says don't automatically create any low confidence updates. I'll look at those on demand. So those are two ways where Smart Merge Controls really save time and make power users of Renovate more efficient. Another aspect of using Renovate that we're looking to continuously improve on now with Renovate Enterprise is what we'll call the management layer. Those who work for large companies know that there's a big difference between managing one repo versus hundreds or thousands. And sometimes you need not only reporting, but maybe even some policy controls as well, or common rules across those repos. So now that we are seeing the peak adopters of Renovate scaling to thousands of repositories, we're looking to give them the tools to manage those better as well. So this is not something that was traditionally needed when the early adopters were taking on dependency automation, but nowadays with heavy adopters, this is definitely a welcome feature set, and one that we've been asked for quite some time.